Hello everyone, Professor George here, and today we're going to be talking about behavior. Behavior can be divided into two categories. We're going to divide them into adaptive or problem behavior. So adaptive behavior are those skills needed to function in everyday life. Problem behaviors are those behaviors that are externalized or internalized that you see as a problem in the classroom. So let's dig a little bit deeper. When I think about adaptive behavior skills, I'm going to divide it into three: conceptual, social, and practical. What do I mean by conceptual? Those are those mental abilities or cognitive abilities that students need to have to function in society. Most students who struggle may be serviced under the intellectual disability category or early childhood developmental. Students may need to read functional words, write words or phrases, identify coins, make change. Social adaptive behavior skills include: are they able to work well with others? Do they follow classroom rules? Do they initiate greetings? Practical skills include preparing meals, showering or dressing, or if you are an early childhood student, they might need the skills to be able to even just put on their coat, tie their shoes. These are all adaptive behavior skills that are needed to function in our classroom or even in the world. Problem behaviors, I'm going to categorize them into externalizing behaviors or internalizing behaviors. Externalizing behaviors can be behaviors that are disruptive and antisocial, and internalizing behaviors can be seen as withdrawal behaviors, anxious, inhibited, or somatic behavior. Somatic is when a student is having emotional distress or problems functioning due to mental fatigue or physical needs, physical pain. So once we have all these behaviors and we're able to kind of discern that this is a problem or this is a student need, what do? We need to learn to assess them. The first thing that you need to remember is you can only control yourself as a teacher. So assess yourself, assess the environment, the classroom environment. What are the physical, the learning environment? What does it look like? And after that, you can assess the student. And once we have this data, we're able to provide some interventions and support the student according to the student's need. So how do we assess our environment? What do we check on ourselves? If you are a special ed teacher, maybe you might be asked to consult or to come in and observe the classroom. So what do we need to look for? If you're an early childhood teacher or a classroom teacher, being able to assess yourself. What is my classroom expectations? Is it posted? Is it visually, the student's able to visually see it? Is it clear? Then, does the student understand the expectation? Be able to check those things. If those two things are checked, then you want to look at your own teaching. How does the teacher react when the student behaves appropriately? We need to be able to have reinforcements in place. How does the teacher react when the students behave inappropriately? What are some interventions the teacher does? And then check on our consequences and making sure that we're consistent. So let's talk about those reinforcers. I'm going to divide them into four categories. You have social reinforcers, where students enjoy being with their friends. So use that to your advantage. Maybe provide extra recess time if they behave appropriately, or extra time to socialize if they complete an activity on time. Activity reinforcers can be fun things that you can add into your as a reward system. Tangible reinforcers can be like, for example, adding marbles into a marble jar and then the whole class can get a prize. Or edible reinforcers can be treats that students can be motivated to behave appropriately. So once you have those reinforcements in place, you want to look at how does the teacher intervene when the student does not behave. Students with disabilities might need some behavior, may just need to be ignored. Some Some behavior need to be directed and clearly prompted. They might need some prompts or reminders. Contingent contracts can be made with students, uh, or you might just have to teach pro-social skills. So once you have examined your own teaching, you've examined your classroom rules, then you want to probably look at the student. There are some standardized behavior assessments that are useful that you can ask your social worker or your psychologist to do. Here are some common ones. You have the behavior rating scales, you have the behavior assessment system for children, you have the Connors rating scales. These are checklists or scales that the teacher fills out, the parent fills out, people that work with the student fill out, and then you're able to target specific areas of need that you can, again, provide reinforcements or interventions to support that student. So let's recap real quick. What do we talk about? Behavior can be divided into adaptive or problem behaviors. When you think about adaptive behaviors, those are those conceptual skills those student needs, the social and the practical skills, and you can actually make goals in those areas, and there are assessments that are there to help you target areas of need. Problem behaviors are externalizing or internalizing behaviors, and we'll talk about a functional behavior assessment that can be done so that we can figure out the function of the behavior. Once we have assessed through observations or done standardized assessments, we can get a baseline and get those interventions in place. Thank you for listening.